Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth back in the news about staffers had to be dismissed and a second signal chat that took place. Where's the president stand on this?
The president stands strongly behind Secretary Hegseth, who is doing a phenomenal job leading the Pentagon. And this is what happens when the entire Pentagon is working against you and working against the monumental change that you are trying to implement. Secretary Hegseth was nominated for this position because he is standing up for the war fighter, the men and women in uniform who are putting their lives on the line to protect our country and our homeland. And unfortunately, there have been people at that building who don't like the change the secretary is trying to bring, so they are leaking and they are lying to the mainstream media. We've seen this game played before. The secretary is doing a tremendous job, and the president stands strongly behind him.
Let's pause for a second on the Hegseth, because that I think Hegseth is when like you drink too fast too quickly, and then you realize, oh, this is gonna become a whole thing, and the cold Hegseth just starts cascading down your face. But anyway, that was nothing. Carolyn Leavitt, like, why do we act as if she's a human? Why do we act as if like, oh, you asked her a question and she'll think about it, and then she'll put together thoughts and she'll express. It's just rote BS. It's just boilerplate BS. I mean, he's totally behind him. She would say that 5 seconds before he was thrown into a volcano by Donald Trump, if that was coming. It means nothing. So, by the way, it might be accurate in this case. The fact that it turns out, oh, Pete Hegseth is back because he was sharing those classified war plans in another chat, probably doesn't bother Donald Trump because incompetence has never really bothered him. Only lack of loyalty bothers him. And Hegseth, for all of his other issues, is still loyal. But we need to talk about this developing scandal. They don't care, but I kind of do. I think it's important. So there was a second, more personal signal chat. This time, rather than it being like with Tulsi Gabbard and JD Vance, he was in a chat with his wife, his brother, and his personal lawyer, and he was sharing the most classified war plans, okay? So some of the things that he gave included flight schedules for the Hornets targeting the Houthis in Yemen. Essentially the same attack plans that he shared on a separate signal chat the same day that mistakenly included the editor of The Atlantic. And I don't even know why. What does your wife or your brother need to know the flight plans of the Hornets? Like maybe you want to be like, oh, look at me, I'm so cool. I'm not just a host anymore. Now I can say I know, but why do they need to know the specific flight plans? What, your personal lawyer? Again, I'm not asking rhetorical questions. I really want to know, why does your personal lawyer need to know when the planes are taking off? That is very, very strange and very dangerous development here. And so his wife, by the way, is a former Fox News producer, strange, not a Defense Department employee. She's traveled with him overseas and drawn criticism for accompanying her husband to sensitive meetings with foreign leaders. Again, after years of critiquing like Hillary Clinton or whatever about being loosey-goosey with the classified information, it's like, bring whoever you want. My wife's in here. I'm chatting people up on Snapchat about it. Whatever. Elon Musk and his little twinks don't even have to have security clearances. They can come in and get all this information. That is how fast and loose the Republicans play with national security information. And so he's just sharing all this information. Again, the most critical and specific information. And so from Carolyn Leavitt, you get nothing, BS, just wasting our time. Let's see what Hegseth has to say about it.
What a big surprise that a few leakers get fired and suddenly a bunch of hit pieces come out from the same media that peddled the Russia hoax. Won't give back their Pulitzers. They got Pulitzers for a bunch of lies. Pulitzers for a bunch of lies and on hoaxes time and time and time again. And as they peddle those lies, no one ever calls them on it. See, this is what the media does. They take anonymous sources from disgruntled former employees, and then they try to slash and burn people and ruin their reputations. Not gonna work with me, because we're changing the Defense Department, putting the Pentagon back in the hands of warfighters, and anonymous smears from disgruntled former employees on old news doesn't matter.
He is not nearly as charming or charismatic as he thinks it is. He is. He's doing the thing, like he's doing what Trump would do, like fake news or whatever. It's not gonna work because I'm strong. I'm a war fighter or whatever. No, if Trump wants to get rid of you, he's just going to get rid of you. Like again, and I don't know that he's likely to, but that's all that is. By the way, I just want to clarify one thing because he wants this story to not be about the broadening fact that he's giving out all this information to people who aren't cleared for it. It could potentially ruin the operation. It could get our soldiers killed. He says, don't worry about that. Worry about the leakers. This is about some disgruntled leakers, dude. You, the leaker. You're leaking this information on these unsecured. You leaked it to your wife. You leaked it to your brother. You leaked it to your personal lawyer. These leakers, they gave general information about a scandal at the top ranks of the DOD. They didn't endanger any soldiers' lives. Your leaks were way more specific, way more dangerous. They're not claiming to be heroes here. You're claiming that this is all awesome. That you're sharing it with like an old friend. You reconnected on Facebook. Hey, you want to know when the F-18s are taking off? Like if we want to talk about leakers, okay, we're talking about a leaker. And it was the bozo looking in the camera right there, Jayar. What do you think?
So this is the thing. This is one of those situations where they give these excuses and they have no idea how bad it sounds. So Caroline Leavitt is gonna come out and actually tell these folks, yo, listen, the problem that's going on in the Pentagon is that the entire Pentagon, the entirety of the Pentagon is lying on Pete Hegseth. The whole department is lying on Pete Hegseth. Every one of these loyal, what we were told all the time, people in our military are the most loyal to the United States and the Constitution. They're truthworthy, but now they're all absolute liars. This is a disaster, and it's not the flex that you think it is. If you think that just one Pete Hegseth, drunk Pete pistol with a Pilsner Pete Hegseth is gonna be the only one that's telling the truth in the entire Pentagon. That's not the flex you think it is, bro. That means the leadership is horrific. Why would the entire Pentagon be against one guy? Sounds like one guy has a problem. And if the entire Pentagon is the problem, that guy is leading a group of liars. Yeah. Everybody's a bad guy here. That's not a good flex, bro. That's the weirdest. If a Democrat was in office, Joe Biden is in office and says the entire Pentagon is against Lloyd Austin, the entire Pentagon is against him. They're gonna go, oh my God, this is a disaster. This is a national security risk. We can't have the entire Pentagon against the head of the department. Anybody can intercept these signal chats that we know could easily be intercepted. And by the way, I knew it when it happened the first time. The reason why Mike Waltz and Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth were all in front trying to say this isn't a big deal when the first instance of revelations of these signal chats went out. It's because there's many more. Similar to the thing that happened with Abreu Garcia, sent off to the prison over in El Salvador, because there's many more. They don't want to pull back on any of these things because they'll have to reveal that there's more of it happening. One more thing, John. This disgruntled leaker that was talking about all of the people that have been fired. I'm not sure if you're getting to this part. All these people have been fired.
We are going to talk about it.
Supreme Trump loyalist. I'm sorry, go to it.
Definitely, we'll definitely talk about that. Does anyone think, like I'm trying to make sense out of a senseless world. Does anyone think that the reason that he can't go into these classified meetings with his wife is his wife doesn't trust him in a room alone? Like she's worried about he's gonna assault someone? Like I sort of understand that. I don't wanna be too hard on her, by the way. Maybe after all the revelations about the sexual allegations and everything, maybe like he thinks that like giving her war plans, is that like a peacemaking gesture or something? I don't think it makes up for it, but I've never been married to him.